whole process. So you wish to discuss that any further, Ms. Chief Executive?
Just to explain to councillors that the Civil Defence and Emergency Management Joint Committee meeting was held on Monday, and obviously there's today's meeting as well, and standard practice is that you authorise the Chairman of Council to sign those off prior to the election, once they're finalised.
Okay, so Councillor Douglas.
Mr Chair, we've Regional Planning Committee regarding page 105, item 6. Can I make a comment about that?
In the debate that follows these resolutions, you can, yes.
Yep.
So is someone prepared to take us through this set of recommendations, Councillor Douglas?
I'll move it because I also want to do an amendment as discussed earlier.
Or an addition?
An addition, sorry.
So we'll move it with your addition and let's see how that goes.
The addition is to the meeting held of Corporate and Strategic held the 4th of September. That the addition is to the item 10.
No.
Sorry?
Nothing to do with the item.
I just
need to note as part of those recommendations the issue that you wish to cover.
Okay. As part of the recommendations that the date for the conditions set out, as advised by the Trust, will be the 1st of the 10th, 2013, which is their construction date.
So that will become 2.8 or something. And then
be in the words if somebody can approve them.
Well, Mr Chair, can I suggest that the recommendation is an amendment to 2.5, Regional 2.6, Corporate and Strategic Committee meeting held, and Council notes that.
Yes. Yeah, that's so everyone's happy with that. So you're happy to second that, Councillor Curtin? So you wish to speak?
Is it possible to have it put up so we actually know the wording?
Okay. At least we're not holding people up from watching the America's Cup, I suppose. Who's interested in yachting? Exactly.
Mr Chair, while we're waiting, did anybody in the audience ask you if it was possible to have item 14 before item 13 so that they could get away?
Yes, they did.
And what did you say?
I said we'll be 2 items short, 14 shortly, and we will be, with your help.
So that was a no.
Repeat, with your help, Councillor. Righto, order, please. Now, this is the amendment. Councillor Douglas, that's it. It's an addition, yeah.
It hasn't been, the whole hasn't been moved yet, Mr. Chairman.
No.
It's not an amendment.
No, it's not an amendment. No, correct. Yeah, it was moved with the addition. It should be.
Would an amendment being an additional resolution?
No, it's not an amendment yet. No, it's not an amendment. With an additional resolution. It's moved and seconded. Is everyone clear on that and level of comfort? Do you wish to speak, Councillor Douglas? Councillor Curtin.
Well, Mr. Chairman, with that addition, it becomes clear that Council has put a timeline in. It is time constrained. I continue to have my strong reservations about the impacts and plausibility of the delivery of the entire event, but time will tell. We've only got a few days to meet that time deadline, so that will be the determining factor in all of this, and my words will or will not be proven at that point.
Other speakers? Councillor Scott.
Mr. Chairman, it does open it up to speak on this again, and there were conditions that we put on this from the word go, and that was to bring a plan that integrated all of the aspects of the sport together. We have never seen that plan, and that's my concern, and was my concern at the time, that it didn't matter where the facilities were built, it needed to be a collaborative plan that showed the ability to deliver a regional approach to providing for competition in this area in hockey facilities that were accessible by all, but also supported the range of competitions that had already been put to us at the time of it was put as an item to the annual plan. I don't believe that was met at the time. I am very pleased to at least see that there is some constraint put on the delivery of this, but the other thing it opens up is the wisdom of not having the double debate, and we wouldn't have been here going round and round in circles now if we had actually had time to reflect on it, to reflect on the developments that had happened in those intervening couple of weeks, and been able to be in a better position to come up with a resolution that clearly stated all the conditions on which it was precedent on. So it's this council, it's their last meeting, so perhaps any incoming council can note the wisdom of a double debate and what it offers.
Thank you. Any other speakers wish to sum up? Councillor Douglas.
Mr. Chairman, I understand Councillor Scott's point of view and agree with her, and the circumstances, whatever we were convinced otherwise on the date, at the time. Let's be the positive side. The sport, it may not be for the big picture idea of all hockey together, but the positive side is Hockey New Zealand or whoever is meant to says, yes, we're going to do it. The money can then flow and the date doesn't become a matter because it's all met, and that was really what we were trying to do. If not, we've got the fallback position now.
Thank you. Well, I'll put that motion then. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Carried. Thank you. Okay, let's get to item 13 on page 107.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the regular report to you on a number of, I guess, our higher profile projects that don't necessarily get highlighted in the traditional progress report. So, as usual, we'll take it as read, and staff are here, Ranger staff are here to answer questions if you have any.
Thank you.
Chairman,
That's all right.
can I deal with item 13, biosecurity, and perhaps the staff could tell us when do we expect that legislation to come out of the House so we can start work on the regional pest management strategy?
It's Mike.
I actually don't know the answer to that. I'm sorry, I could find that out for you from Mr. Adey, who's probably
Well,
the
that
one
would be
not
helpful
here.
because
Yep.
it seems to be delayed forever because we had to have an interim strategy last year to carry us through until the implementation of this. And I was rather hoping that we could start work on that new strategy early in the new term. But if we're waiting on a parliamentary decision, it may be difficult to deliver on that.
Councillor Scott.
Mr. Chairman, and if I may, through you, direct a question to Mr. Maxwell on the Heratonga groundwater modelling. As far as I can see from the Gantt chart, we're not actually expected to get this report completed until February of 2016. So perhaps, which is a bit disappointing, I was still that far out with getting this model up and running, but where does this affect the progress on the Tutakuri, Ahuriri, Narelora and Karamu catchment plan changes?
The Gantt chart presents, we were careful to make sure that we presented a realistic scenario where possible. So that's, well, I guess you could say that's probably the worst case scenario, if you like. I'm optimistic that we can compress these time frames, and I guess the reality is for the policy process is that it can't go too far beyond a variety of matters until this model has been built and is operating. And that's further discussed in a later paper on the agenda. What we're trying to do is compress timeframes by bringing key parties and people with expertise to the table to get it moving quicker than this Gantt chart presents.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I wonder whether Ms. Lambert, I could take Ms. Lambert to paragraph 22 in relation to the strategic alliance with the Department of Conservation, and ask, are there either constraints or protocol in place to work effectively, but given the conversations and potential commentary from DOC on the likes of the Royal Tanawa Dam scheme, what are the implications for that strategic alliance in terms of sharing information and formulating differences of views?
The strategic alliance has really been built around the common roles of regional councils, the 3 regional councils listed there, and the department. So there isn't any interaction by Nature Central around projects such as the dam. What is being looked at are things like biosecurity, biodiversity, environmental education, those things where one or more of those organisations may have capacity and or expertise in a particular area that they can share with one or more of the other organisations within that alliance.
Follow through, Mr. Chair, in relation to sharing of science information. It becomes obvious to me that DOC staff would benefit from reading our science information. Can you say if they have done and whether they've taken that into account in any of the work that they produce or other activities?
Oh no, I can't answer that. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer.
Could I just deal now, Mr. Chairman, of the Tongoyo Soil Conservation Reserve? And I note the management plans for the reserve is due to be reviewed, and the harvesting of 21 hectares of pines this summer. Could perhaps Mrs. Lambert give us an indication of where the funding or for the sale of the lumber from the 21 hectares will go? Have we reached a resolution as to ownership yet? Because it seems to me that we're doing an awful lot of ongoing work there, and I see very little benefit to the ratepayer of this region for the work that we're doing.
Yes, the submissions closed on the Mangaharu Tangatu Treaty Settlement Bill on the 12th of September, and we submitted on that in particular around the Tongoyo Soil Conservation Reserve, in fact only on that matter. What the agreement that has been reached, or it's been clarified, is that the Crown still owns the land, the trees and the fund. And we have, and through their treaty settlement, there's been a separate catchments fund established, where the proceeds from this, from sale of or harvesting, will be placed, and it will be the council and Mangaharu Tangatu Trust will, going forward, will be planning the expenditure of those funds within a broader catchment area than the previous conditions allowed us to do. So there will be some benefits to both Mangaharu and to the wider community in terms of the physical area that the funds can be applied to and the types of work, but it will largely be around biodiversity and around environmental protection.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm happy with that, but so that the work that we carry out on Tongoyo, will that be something that we will charge out?
Yes, we do. Yeah. So we
So it'll be
certainly
owned by
recover our costs on that.
We'll cover our costs,
Yes.
so that'll
Yeah.
be charged to a separate entity.
Yes.
That's a big achievement. Thank
Councillor Rem as well.
you. Waited 14 years for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Patience is a virtue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Two things, please. Firstly, the strategic alliance with DOC. And I'm going to follow this up with HBRC as well. Did our strategic relationship with DOC have any impact on the Ministry deciding not to forward their draft submission to the Board of Inquiry on the dam?
To the best of my knowledge, there's never been any discussion at any Nature Central meeting around Plan Change 6 or the Ruataniwha Water Storage Project.
And you've attended all those meetings?
No, I haven't, but I've read the minutes of them all.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor McGregor.
I had two, Mr. Chair. Secondly, with regard to water metering and for Mr. Maxwell, and this item does relate to the next item on the agenda as well. It looks like there's been a very good take-up rate of meters, which is better than expected. Can Mr. Maxwell tell us how this telemetry will actually help the growers actually work together and, if you like, share water and make sure that they have access to the water when they really need it?
Through you, Mr. Chair. So yes, a very good question, and certainly the reason, the very reason we've been championing telemetry for this region, I think, has been evident in the past summer, where the use of that data has been invaluable for irrigators to self-manage, to work with each other, to roster ration water as some systems approached low flow conditions. We see huge potential in the telemetry information. We've kept the system as flexible as we can to basically take the data back to the irrigators and say, well, we're collecting it for our purpose, but what value is it to them, and how can we structure it up for them to use? So those types of discussions are just beginning, but I mean, it's kind of like how long's a piece of string. We can provide reports and information to them pretty much as they desire it.
Good.
We have, Mr. Chair, through you, do we have enough in place to make sure that those relationships can take place easily and the water is used to its best advantage, or is there anything more that we could be doing from our end?
I think we are building very strong relationships with the irrigator community at the moment. Certainly the conditions we had last summer has brought everybody to the table, and we're all learning a lot from it, and I think that the improvements have been exponential, both in terms of how we can best use this information, the telemetry information, and how we work with each other to maximise availability of water for them.
Can I follow up that again? Just the numbers, the actual numbers, 1138 each financial year. Is that a have we already hit 1138 and we don't expect any more, or are we expecting that both years, or how does that work?
Sorry,
Table on page 108, number 4, you've got target and the actual number. The target grows in the cumulative target, but the actual number is the same.
oh, sorry, I'm looking on the wrong page.
Sorry.
So yeah, the cumulative target grows each year. So each year we expect more. So by 13-14 we'd like to have 1,000, and we're already sitting on 1138. So by the end of 13-14 we fully expect to be more than 1138.
Councillor McGregor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.